Workplace relationships is okay as long as you're not dating someone you report to or reports to you. All right. Daniel says dating at work is a time bomb. Future of the two unpredictable. Reactions in time of breakup becomes a business issue. Can't support it at all. All right, that's fine. That is your opinion, and we will hear from Helen on what to do if it happens. Because hey, sometimes the feelings, my friend, they have no teacher. They cannot. They have come. They have come. If there is in English like that, if you have those feelings, if they have come, my friend, there's nothing you can do about it. So sometimes we want to look at the reality of life. I don't know whether it's correct or wrong, but that's why we have Helen here to demystify that for us. So allow me to recognize our partners. This is Get It Right with Atara Solutions in partnership with a number of organizations. We have Balcon Housing, we have Stallion Construction Company Limited, we have Pathway Solutions, we have IPM, Institute of Pension Management, we have Panessa Kenya Limited, we have Wicklin, we have Suluhu Mediation Center, we have Profiles International, we have El Samea, we have Kapla Mintito, we have Purpose, and of course, we have Steadfast. This is Kampala, headed by one Herbert Zake. Herbert Zake, I recognize you. Thank you very much for being our support in Uganda. Allow me not to mention any other details about our partners because of time, in the interest of time. So Helen, you know, this has been a very interesting topic. First of all, I just loved the title. Honey in the money. So tell us, please tell us, do we do it? Do we not do it?
Well, it's one of those oxymorons where I'll tell you, don't eat the cake and it's in your face. I don't know if you'll eat it or you'll not. So it's up to you to decide whether you're on diet, you'll not eat it, or, well, I've not eaten all day and you'll eat it. But there's so many webs of rules and regulations that go in there. There are so many intricacies when you decide to do it, and then there are sacrifices when you choose not to do it. Here's a girl or a boy or a young man that has ticked all your check boxes of your dream guy or dream spouse, and he happens to be your colleague. How do you go about it? There are several ways to go about it. And I've read the comments here. People are very informed. It's not that they don't know. We all work in organizations and places where rules and policies are there. And so we'll look at I have summarized the whole shenanigan of rules into 8 steps or 8 important things to do. And if I can, maybe I would share my PowerPoint. I promise you I'll not kill you with PowerPoint today. It's Valentines. So I'll be very kind. So let me see if I can share this screen too. Yeah. Let me know if you can see it. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can. Get in your honey where you make your money.
All right, let me do it from the beginning. 1 second there. So let's write down. Good. So I know money and honey are supposed not to be together unless you are a beekeeper, because beekeeper and being a beekeeper is a business. And when you sell your honey, you make your money. Other than that, there are other things. You can't mix those two. One of them will sting, either the bee or the job. So let's see how that goes. Before we finish this short session, my goal and what I'm shooting for is for us to learn the importance of relationships, both at work and off work, and how they overlap with each other. And we'll also distinguish between the productive and unproductive relationships. From the comments, I had people say it's a like touch and go. It's a thing that comes and goes. Is it always true? Are the relationships that you carry on at work, will they be productive or unproductive? How will they affect your work? And then assess also the new generation. Let's not forget the new generations that we call the millennials don't have much social life. They are always on phone. They are always either on Tinder or dating apps, and the only real things or real girls and boys they see that they would fall in love with is in the workplace. They are not out there, they are not clubbing, they're not going to the village dances like we used to. They are not having meet-togethers like we used to. They are mostly online, and online can be distorted. Usually what you see is not what you get. You'll get someone on Tinder or on whichever dating app is in Africa or Kenya, wherever, and you look at the Instagram page or the picture, that page or picture has been turned back 20 years and polished and modified with all the profiles that are lies. But in reality, you realize that no, this is not the person I saw online. And we'll also look at ancient questions like, should you go back home and marry from your village? Because that's what people used to be told. Ukimaliza kazi Kenya, sorry for using Swahili, when you finish work in Kenya or in Nairobi or town, go to the village, get a wife. I'm not sure if that is feasible today because the whole young population has moved to the city. We all survive on relationships, whether they are mom, dad, auntie, uncle. Your peers at teenage are the number one. And as we grow old, we look for long-term marriage relationships. And it's like a three-legged thing. When you set your goals, look for your resources and get a good relationship. And that brings success, whether it's in company or it's in family goals. Let's look at it this way. When you're young, we all have dreams that we want to have. One of them is, when I grow up, I want to marry a beautiful girl. I want to marry a handsome man, but you don't know who you'll meet and where you'll meet them. Companies can be a good source to find those girls and those young men who meet your goals. And it's important to also remember, falling in love doesn't have boundaries. It doesn't know political, tribal, religious boundaries. It supersedes all of them. Falling in love is just one heart talking to another. We all try our best to try and put in the legalities and the social, economic things, but falling in love supersedes all those. For any company to succeed, therefore, they try to regulate that thing about people falling in love and marrying and getting to date. Why do we need good relationships, whether individuals, organizations? For one, it's to help us improve our communication. If you don't know how to tell someone I love you, you will never know until you practice it on someone, and probably someone you see face to face. And organizations would like also to train you in communication skills, whether they're about love or relationships. When someone is in love, they are like on adrenaline. I'm not sure if you've seen a young man or a young girl in love. They behave like bees on adrenaline. They have a lot of energy about them. They're trying to do so many things. I don't know whether it's because of the date in the evening or the date tomorrow. They just want to get every work done so that they can have that. So good relationships can be positive to a company's output. It also lowers attrition. Now, here we have to be careful. Although relationships in an organization reduce, good relationships lower attrition, sometimes dating as a relationship can increase attrition, especially when two of the same gender are going for one of another gender, or three of the same gender going for another, or one gender hunting down all the three or four. So that could lead to attrition. So again, we'll look at those rules. By the way, good relationships in any company is good PR. It is good PR, whether people are working there as husband and wife, dating, or even just employees loving on each other without getting intimate. Good relationships are good PR for the company. Higher customer satisfaction has also been related to good relationships. I don't know whether after fighting with my husband, I'll be very satisfied with my work tomorrow if we work in the same place, but we'll look at it later. Again, it also leads to higher profits. Like I said, when people work together or even are married together, there is less wastages in transport. Man hours can be doubled up. Couples can decide to work longer and go home after hours, that means there will be higher output when people work together. So as you can see, there is balances of pros and cons of benefits in a relationship. Again, there are also new synergies. When couples tend to work together, they create more meet other couples that work together, and they have that synergy. Now, let's go straight to the honeycomb and look at it this way. Is money and honey a growth-focused relationship? The answer, the crux of it, will still remain yes and no. I'm not helping right now so far, but let's see. How do we do that? Dr. Wendy Walsh is a master relationships expert, a researcher, and she says that according to research that was carried out by Harvard, 40% of the respondents, I'd like to know which company this is, 40% of the respondents had been involved in workplace romance or dated colleagues. This is almost true everywhere. When you join a new place, you'll hear the young man say, have you seen the new catch? Have you seen the new chick? Man, I'll be the first one to take her out. And the girls on the other side, have you seen the new accountant? Steve, the new accountant? Oh my word. I think I'll write him an email. And it happens everywhere. We all love novelty, and sometimes novelty is in the workplace. So 40% actually did date. 30% went further and had a one-night stand. Well, okay, let's continue. But 50%, now here's the catch, 50% of the office romances ended up in marriage. So is it 100% good? It's 50-50. So if you feel like you're ready to take the 50% risk to start an office-based relationship, these are the data, this is the report, this is the research. So if you feel like you want to take it up, yes, go ahead. But why do you need to do it? One of the reasons people fall in love is proximity. People say absence makes the heart fonder. But guess what? Falling in love, you tend to fall in love with in the hands of the ones that are near you. So proximity is a very beautiful thing. And we all want someone who is close by, because we say, there's a methali in Swahili that says, fimbo ya mbali haiui nyoka. So we want the one close by. In short, those who don't understand Swahili, it means that a stick that's very far away cannot kill a snake. So the one who's near is what you fall in love with. Again, we also say, what do you say about the Q? That water that's far away cannot quench your thirst. So we all fall for proximity. And this lady and this young man, you always see them every day. See how they are. You tend to fall in love with who they are. You tend to admire their personality, and you get free resume of their behavior right in your face. So it's easy. The other reason why people fall in love is because they have shared values, shared goals, and a shared organization culture. How common can you get? I remember when we were growing up, we used to say, we've got something in common. Well, this is not something, it's some things. So it's one goal for us to get there and try to see what more can we have in common. Now, there are rules though. Falling in love, like I said, supersedes all boundaries, rules, and regulations. But if it is in the workplace, there are walls that you have to be careful. There are rivers you have to navigate, and there are laws, policies that you have to look into. Rule number one, check if the company or the organization has policies regarding dating. I said last year, and I'll say it again here. A friend of mine, when I was back home, that's Kenya, had to be transferred from a school because she dated a colleague. Was it in the TSC policy? No. But the principal of the school thought it not a good image or example to the other staff and students. So a friend of mine had to be transferred. We found that pretty rude because the other place I was working in, another TSC place, I had two couples who met there and married, and they stayed in the same institution. So again, you need to look at your organization's policy. Is it allowed? What are the rules? Will you be transferred? One of you need to quit? Will you be transferred from this branch to another? Maybe they say not in the same branch. You could date, but one of you has to move departments or branches. You can't be together. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. Please follow the policy. Follow the policy. Some of these policies are so strict, they can lead to legal litigations. So you have to be careful, read those policies. Again, declare your relationship, not the one night stand though. Don't declare the one night stand. We don't want to know about that, please. But if you're looking to be serious, please declare to the relevant authorities. The policy has it clear. Should it be your immediate supervisor, your immediate manager? Is it the HRM? Who is supposed to know first? Because there is nothing as bad as the CEO or the manager hearing in the coffee break or the staff meeting that these two can't work together. Why? Their husband and wife is like, since when? So please say it at the beginning of the relationship. Let them know if it is allowed, so that whatever follows, they will be in the know and they will consult the policies. Avoid hookups. Don't hook up like today, please. I know it may be too late for people in Kenya because they've already hooked up if they were planning to. Avoid hookups, and then tomorrow you can't even look at each other eye to eye because of what happened last night. I have also another friend, I like telling stories. I have a friend who hooked up one time, and she didn't know that this person, when he drinks, he becomes a chatterbox nonstop. And girl, was she embarrassed. The next day, she couldn't look at that man in the office. So avoid hookups. They always end up bad. They always, if you really care about someone, don't hook up with them. Give them time. Be like a lion. Crawl slowly into their lives. Don't know that you're coming. But if you behave like a dog that barks at every shaker, boo 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 at every girl, they will all run away. So don't hook up. Again, during parties and functions, avoid showing intimacy or trying to sit together all the time. And then hookups always end up in flings. Usually when both of you are very drunk or you're too excited, you tend to overstep or overexpress yourself. So if you're really looking to be serious with a colleague, don't go for those one night stands. For rule number 4, consider the power structure. Someone in the chat said that you cannot have a date with your person who is under you, and that is true. 90% of the HRM policies discourage superiors dating their subordinates because there is the risk of infatuation. We all admire people who are good in authority, and that admiration could be confused for falling in love. And secondly, there are people who are subordinate to you who may use your position and intimidate you and say, well, I'll tell everyone that you dated me last month. You know, those blackmails, they could come up. The other third reason that I think I didn't put here, or I did, it can lead to legal and unwanted claims. All those sagas you hear about Kenyan politicians and their secretaries, this is why they break this. That's the law that they break. Please avoid dating your superiors or inferiors. If you are the top, avoid the lower ones. If you are the low level, don't go for the upper ones. Legal ghosts of suing and maligning and slander are just waiting for you to do it. Avoid it. What if you fall in love with a superior? What do you do? I'd like to see it in the chat. What happens if your boss is like your crush? I'd like to see it in the chat. I'll look at it later. That's something for us to discuss because it happens. What if your boss is your crush and you can't sleep without having to look at them? It's not your level, they are lower or they are higher. What do you do? Or this new girl who comes to your HR department and your heart misses a beat every time you see her. What do you do? Let's talk about that and let's see what you think. Rule number 5, keep it DL. When you know you're in love, I know we like going to the top most of the mountains and yelling, I'm in love, look at me. Don't do that. Keep it down low. Because You can't hide people who are in love. You can't hide your dating. You can't hide those eyes that you roll at each other in the staff meeting. You can't hide the fact that you're trying every opportunity to rub shoulders in the coffee place or tea place. You can't hide that. But you need to keep it down low, even if they know, and we all know that it's happening, because gossip will be there. If you go to the staff room or somewhere people are having a casual talk and you come in and they keep quiet, just know what they were talking about, because it's you. Expect colleagues backlash. The girl or the young man, if they are in the lower level or even in the same department, you're not the only one who was eyeing them. So there will be someone who will come at it and try to say how bad you are or your spouse is. So there will be backlash. There will be hate speech going around. So expect it. And probably even in a staff meeting, it can be thrown in directly at you, especially if the other person competing for the love of your life is a colleague or your boss on the other department. It will come. Then talk to management before you go public, and then let it go public quietly. Don't be the one to go to a staff meeting and declare, hey, I have something to announce here. I have something to announce. So today, me and Peter, we have a thing. And I'd like to tell our girls, keep off it, Peter. And Peter says, all young men, keep off Helen. So you don't do that. Just keep it down low. Let the management, if they have to speak on your behalf, do it, because sometimes it can bring problems. Do not PDR. PDR is a public display of affection. It's common when you see people who are in love trying to hold hands, putting a hand on your other shoulder, trying to hold the waistline, or trying to steal a kiss when you're passing each other. Avoid that. Not in the company place. Even if you're not in love or dating, that's also still not acceptable. It's sexual abuse. So don't do it. Those who do not know will report you for sexual abuse if they find you. So be careful. Do not display affection anywhere within the walls of your enterprise. Pretend to be nonchalant and wait until you get into your car in your home and make up for the day's kisses that you missed, but not in the office. Avoid that. Again, rule number 7, prepare for the risks involved. Prepare for the risks involved, because they will happen. Be sure and make sure that it is worth it. Someone said it can backlash on you. What happens? What are you foregoing? If you're the girl who is the catcher, the talk of the town, that ends because someone is already on your line and in your case. I think the internet staggered a bit there. Did you catch me? Yeah, good. So prepare for the talk, prepare for people to talk. You lose some friends. You will create enemies because you're not the only one who saw that girl or that young man. They will gossip about you. Some social circles will be closed out from you, especially if your best friend in their office also wanted the same person. That will go. So many things will have to change. So is it worth it? Then what will you be sacrificing? Sometimes promotion will not happen because the department where you're going is where your spouse is and you cannot be promoted. You can lose your promotions. Sometimes you may even lose your job or be transferred if the policy says that you cannot date a colleague and you feel like you can't let go. So you either lose your job or lose the promotion that you are pursuing. Then how do you relate with other staff? We all flirt in the office staff rooms. We all do. But guess, when your sweetheart is there, you cannot do it. You cannot flirt with that gorgeous young man on the corner or the new girl that comes in. Your flirting goes because your relationship is on a different vibration. You cannot go flirting. You cannot go making jokes. Again, adult jokes will be out of the window for you because we all know who you're seeing. Don't start flirting with us here. So we'll get you out of that. Again, what happens if you fight? If you had a fight home and you're coming to work and you have to sit in the same meeting with that spouse that you're tempted to throw bottles at. Again, those are things to look at and to think about in that form. Another thing, if you fight at home, Make it a rule. And this should be done before, way before you start getting serious and you're in the same place. And if the policies are in your favor, remember there are things at home that are very complex. Working in a place that has its own culture is difficult. Marriage is very difficult. When you put the two together in one cup, I wonder what mix you'll get. So remember to set the rules. If we fight at home, we leave it at home. We can come back and pick our fights at the door when we get in. When we go to work, you're my colleague and I'm your colleague, and what we did at home doesn't matter. We cannot share our squabbles or our differences to our best friends in the office, because guess where that will go? That will be a small Savannah fire. In a small minute, everyone will know, oh, you know, so-and-so, the HOD of this department and the HOD of the other department. Oh, the HOD told me this. This is juicy. Let's hear it. And in 10 minutes, it's gone around. So again, you cannot have a confidant in the same organization where your spouse is. It will not work. How do you retain professionalism? Like I said, set the rules and boundaries. And then you need to separate office drama from your relationship and vice versa. Office has its own drama already. Enough of it. I don't need to expound on that. We all find ourselves involved in one, whether we like it or not. It's not of our own making. And sometimes that drama involves your spouse. He is the subject of the drama. Please do not take it home when you're in the car or going home. You're like, hey, I heard. So-and-so came and told me. Is that what you're telling everyone? I don't even know why I fell in love with you. And you start fighting all the way back home and sleep and then come back home, back to work. It will ruin everything. It will ruin everything. Keep office drama in the office, which I'm wishing you very good luck with, and keep the home drama at home. Good luck again. Should it not work, and it might, maybe even go this far, you get married, you have children, but it's not working, and you still work in the same organization. How do you handle that? Again, when you're dating, remember to put that in your laws and regulations of your relationship. If you break up, I'm still the HOD HR, you're still the HOD procurement, we still work together, we meet in the office, and no beef will be taken across. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. All right. So thank you. What happens is when you break up, and I have seen it happen even where I am at, when people break up, usually it becomes so stinky that they even bring their revenge games to work. The man starts dating another hottie in the department, and the lady starts looking for maybe another boss just to revenge. And it's not about love now, it's war. Please, if it goes that far, feel very, very free to quit that place. Seek a transfer, even if it means seeking a demotion for your mental health. You don't need to carry those battles there. In case of divorce, the same. If you feel like your spouse is all out clause to get you, be very comfortable to quit or to go elsewhere. And again, like I said, it may be honey, but the bees do sting. So be careful what you do when you get involved in workplace relationship. Now, before I go here, I will put a song, a story of a man about how he felt about dating a colleague. Listen up. Let me see if I can open this link. All right. Let me see if you can see it. 1 second. Can you hear it or see it? Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, good.
It's the hearing we're waiting for.
It's coming?
No, we can't hear anything.
Okay. Hold on. I really want you guys to see this. Let me see if I can open it in another window. Come on. Open. Okay, I need to stop sharing fast. Let me end the slideshow so I can share. Screen 2.
It's on and off.
On and off?
Yeah.
Ah, too bad. It's a song about a story about how this man was hired in a place, and the lady who was the business person is someone he really loved, and she told him, you have to work extra hard to get this job, but he didn't know that extra hard meant being the errand boy. So he became the errand boy. And let me stop sharing there. And he stopped sharing. He stopped being that way. And what he did instead, he went all out of his way to become this beautiful servant. But one day she was so nice, she kissed him. And that was the beginning of a fling or a flare. And they lived together. Unfortunately, because she was the boss, he still felt inferior. And he fell in love with a colleague in the same office. And the boss had to fire him, and he had to cancel all his credit cards because she was supporting him. So it's a song about that. I'll leave the link on the PowerPoint for people to listen in. It's an interesting one. All right. Sorry, the music let me down there. However, how many minutes do we have, Atara?
We have about how many minutes do you need?
I'll give you only one more slide and that's it. One more slide, that's about 2 minutes. Again, another link I'd like you all to have a look. Slideshow from current, and I'll go all the way down. Again, this is an 8-minute talk from another man who says why he can never date someone else. Let me move further. Next one. 1 second. So the link here, the one above, is about 10 reasons why you should not date a coworker. It's 8 minutes. I do not want to go through it. It's a man-to-man talk. So again, our brothers, we have your back. Please take time and listen to this guy. He is Jeffy Oji. He talks tough man talk, and he tells you why you shouldn't. 1, it lowers productivity. 2, it gives you negative image because any man who dates a girl in the office looks unprofessional. 3, it's bad for your vibe with your friends and other men friends. So he gives you a man-to-man talk. I will leave the slide there for you guys to listen in. So, and with that, let's hear what people have to say. Let's listen in. What do we have? I'm done. Let's hear the chat.
You can probably put the link on the
chat. Okay,
yeah,
let me do that right now.
Immediately.
Yes. Oh yeah, that would be easy. Let me do that.
When you're done, yeah.
Let me see if I can copy it. Copy. That one is not giving me that function. Let me see if I can move this. 1 second. All right. Copy. All right. Why aren't you copying today? My internet is just giving me open browse option. Okay. Let me see. I can do it here. Yes, I can. Nice. I've copied it.
Shelly, I see you.
Okay, here we go. Let me put it on chat. Some people are I can see people really talking. Let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah, these guys have had a fun time.
Well, my brothers, I'll tell you what. If you fall in love, don't get them to the hive in the first night. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Okay. It always ends up bad.
Premium tears.
Yeah. Wait until the honey starts making and the bees pro increase before you bring them to the hive.
All right. You hear that opakwa?
What is he saying?
So somebody's saying, so family drama at the workplace would be renamed workplace drama.
Ah, okay.
This is the question here, you.
No. When you are dating your colleague, you have to put that great wall in between you. If someone burnt food yesterday and didn't serve you food yesterday, leave that in the house. The workplace drama is about workplace productivity, nothing to do with the house. It's like moving from one country to another. You cannot carry all your baggage to every country every time. It'll be too heavy. So family place drama is family place drama. And that's why I told you, good luck with trying to separate them. Very good luck. It never works. That's why it's best to avoid it. I've put the 2 links for the song and for the lessons.
I'm happy today, Annie. This chat has not.
And by the way, I'm a relationships coach. Don't feel restricted to ask any question. Shoot it. I can handle it. Shoot it.
Yeah. Now, so a friend of mine, we were having a conversation last week. He saw the flyer and he was like, so he and a chick he's going into partnership with, not subordinates in business
partnership. Yeah.
Yes, and he was asking, okay, so because you're going into partnership, this thing has to end.
Yeah.
It's not like they're dating, but they have been having a situationship.
Oh, a situationship.
Yeah.
Now they have to decide, both of them, what's most important at the point. Is the business more important than the situation? Then they go for business. Do they want to do business and give situationship 25%? They can do it. I worked with my husband for 9 good years until late last year when I had to pursue my dream of being a coach and a career counselor and doing what I do now. But have I really, and did I enjoy the 8 years? Far from true. But were they productive? Extremely productive, extremely. We were so complementary because he is a slow, logical thinker. I am a quick, critical, and sometimes impulsive decision maker. So sometimes I'm making decisions is like, no, wait. And I'm like, is he trying to bring me down because he's my husband? No. And most of the times he was right. That weight saved us from a lot of fire. Was it fun? I will say there was a lot of fun, especially when we were doing long travels and working together in some same environments, but not after we've had a fight last night. I have to smile at the clients and pretend the guy next to me is the number one. And at that time, my head is telling me something else. Yes, you have to learn to put the separation. It does work, but you have to really address the situation thoroughly before you jump in to the business, before you decide to go further, because the situation could be poison or it could be a flower. It's up to you to decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very good answer.
Thank you.
At the link not available. You wait. You guys wait. You will follow. The link will be shared and you guys can click on it after we are done. Helen has shared to the host and panelists.
Yes, I'll give the whole thing.
But don't worry, we will get all of them. Please don't struggle listening to them now. We are still here, Yawa, surely.
Yeah, let's sort what is in the thorn in your flesh before we go to listen to the music and other lessons. Yeah.
Exactly. Dorcas is saying, what if you dated first before you got to the workplace? How do you handle that?
That's history. Who cares? That's history. That's history. Unless you still have some beef still going.
Yes.
Nobody cares about your past. And it has happened. You cross paths one day and then you meet them again. It's all right. It's history. They moved on and so should you. If they're still interested in you and you had broken up, that's a story for another day. We can't talk about breaking up and making up in the workplace. No, if it didn't work the first time, what makes you think it will work this time? So avoid it, make it history, close the chapter. You're reading a new chapter in your life, move on. Sometimes the characters may be there from the past life or the past relationship, but in this chapter, they have taken a different role. Give them the role with honor and respect and move on.
I like the comment by Monica who says, love is blind and deaf to advice. And so
Yes,
that's
it
when you
is.
get some.
Yes, it is until you get stung. It is until you get stung. Then you stop being deaf.
Yeah,
It is
Miriam
true.
said that a friend busted her cheating husband by writing abusive emails to the lady hanging out with her husband, who has the HR and copied all the departments, the abusive emails to any work email that was saved in their computer, including their head office.
Okay,
That's ugly.
that's workplace drama at its best. At its best. If your husband is cheating in your workplace, is that workplace drama or is it home drama? That's where they overlap. That's the gray. And how do you get back on it? Are you trying to get back by spreading the poison in the organization, or do you want to go home and handle it? That's technical. First, deal with it with your husband or your spouse at home, because it's a home thing. It's you and him. He's being unfaithful to a relationship that's based from home, although at workplace. Deal with him at home. If you need counseling or coaching or something about relationship, there. Now, if he doesn't change from there and still does it in the workplace, one of you has to leave or the relationship has to end. One of the two.
Okay.
Unless you're fine with your spouse cheating and you watch the whole drama unfold on your face. If you're fine with that, there are people who say, it's okay, I know where he's coming back to. There used to be a Swahili song that says, it doesn't matter how far he roams, he's coming back to my place. That's fine. If you're that kind of a lady, go for it.
All right. Caroline Gerono is saying, so where do we go? Horizontal, because we can't date up, we can't date down. Can we date horizontally?
Horizontally, yes. But again, policies. Talk to your HR manager all the time. Find those policies. Sometimes in your contract that you're given, there's nothing about relationships. Until you're in, that's when they tell you, did you know you're not supposed to do this? So when you're in love with a colleague, whether it's a superior or junior or anything, consult the policies, follow them. If you can't work in the same department with your spouse, go for a transfer. What's the big deal? Go for a transfer. That's okay. Life goes on. You can. I said you cannot. Your supervisor cannot date you, and you cannot date your inferiors because of the conflict of interest. There's direct conflict of interest, and that it's like picking one amongst many and favoring them, and the other colleagues and the other subordinates will complain, and they can frame you too. They can say we found them or we saw them. And you cannot unsay that or undo that because it's the whole other group against you. So to avoid that funny wickedness, avoid it altogether or seek a transfer if you can get one.
Okay, I've seen a comment by Fiona who says that her friend was dating a subordinate and she advised him to go and declare. He took a bit of his time, and then unfortunately he was accused of sexual harassment.
Yep. Rule number one, declare. Rule number one.
Yeah, and I must also tell you guys, because you're the policymakers, legally, there's no problem about dating in the office. Legally.
No, there is none.
No law that says you can't date in the office.
Nowhere in the planet, actually, nowhere in the planet. Yeah.
Actually, my friend was dating, my friend is married. Oh, my friend and her husband used to work in the same organization. They dated, but of course, when the kids came, one of them had to leave. There's somebody who commented that we can have a policy where people declare, one of them have to go.
Yeah, there are some organizations that do that. And by the way, there are people who can take on those policies to court. They take a lawyer who goes and takes them to court saying, well, the policy is not based on any constitution or background or human rights background. If you have the money and time to go, good luck going. But I'll tell you what the organizations will tell you. And now I'm changing my heart to the other side. The organization will say, research has proven that people who tend to work together and they are married, in case of conflict at home, they bring it to work and that affects productivity. You cannot beat that argument. It is difficult, and because it has been proven. So again, think about it, think about the results, think about your future. And again, as I always say, if the policy says one of you has to go and you really love this person, well, that's the sacrifice you'll have to take.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Jay says, the wife to the boss wants an affair with you. She is technically your boss too. What do you do? Because you need the job too.
Oh gosh. Do you need the job or do you need the relationship? You can't need both.
But if you say no to her, she's gonna fire you.
That's the song. That's what the song is about. He said no to the boss and the boss fired her. Again, if you are in love with your boss and you feel like she or let's assume it's a she, and she's using you or trying to get amorous with you, and you feel this is a win-lose situation whereby if you accept it, you're doomed. If you refuse it, you're doomed. You can report to the HR right away. Report it to the HR, let them tell you the way forward. Because sometimes you feel if I take her on, I will lose. If I don't take her, I will lose. If it's at that situation, please go to the HR and seek advice. There's always someone who's been through this mesh before and this mess, and they will always set you out. They'll give you the way forward. They might even transfer you and leave her there.
Absolutely.
I hope I answered that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Winfred, did you want to speak? Winfred? Your hand is up, Winfred. Did you want to say something? Okay, and for you, Priska Kitur, your hand is up, Priska Kitur. You can unmute yourself if you wanted to speak. Okay, I think the gadgets are playing tricks.
Yeah, they might have accidentally played it, pressed the hand, yeah.
So Brenda says, the only thing I do as HR is ensure that the spouses don't work in the same function, as in like superior subordinates, because discipline will be hard. Otherwise, two adults or more can do whatever they want outside the office as long as it doesn't interfere with the work. Actually,
that's the bottom line. That is the bottom line, yes.
Yes, actually come from the same school of thought. I am a beneficiary of workplace relationships. But when we started dating, we started looking for a job. She found one and we are enjoying our marriage. Close to 2 decades later, it works, but you all have to be level-headed.
Yes, 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 yes. That is what is missing in most marriages, even those who don't work in the same organization. Level-headedness, it's rare. Yeah, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, James, my good friend, James Kyogora. Priska, I see you have unmute. You can go ahead and say something.
Priska?
Yes.
All right, say something.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Priska.
Hello, yes.
We can hear you. Your hand was up.
Oh, yes. I was asking about the workplace relationships.
Yes.
Whereby you can find, maybe it can lead to marriage. And then you can find some employers disputing that they don't want the same family to work with the same organization. In such a situation, then there is no policy governing that. Me as an HR, might be able to draft a policy on the workplace relationship?
Yes, absolutely. If there is none, create one and table it to the management. Don't just create, you'll need it to be tabled. And there's a procedure for policy development, draft one. And if possible, even with your spouse and other members of staff, and then push it on to your superiors and let them discuss with the board, because that's the process. It's a good idea to have a policy on relationships, especially now.
Okay, now I understand, because I know once there is such a relationship and you want to pin an employee on the same, it could be very without a policy.
It's not possible. You can't pin them down at all, ever. You cannot. It has to be written for it to have power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Priska, and thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Before we allow Frank to speak, Monica has asked a very interesting question. And if the HR is the one interested in you, how do you handle that?
There's always someone above the HR. There's always someone above the HR. Follow the organization chart. Go to the upper person. Find your safety net before you jump in the lake. Always go up. Yeah. For instance, if in my case where I am now, if the HR is the one interested in me, I'd go to the CEO because the HR is directly below the CEO and the director of the organization. So I would go to them and talk to them about what's happening with the HR. The HR is not the law. He just helps it work. Yeah.
You HR professionals on the call say aye.
Aye. They make it work. They're not the law. So again, they can also break the same laws they enforce. So be cognizant of that.
And at the same time, I mean, some of these things we're talking about is sometimes it's natural. Yeah. Falling in love is not forced. It's a natural occurrence. It's not a bad thing, you guys. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frank, you wanted to say something? You can unmute.
Thank you for the speaker.
You're welcome.
3 points. One is you need to be aware choices have consequences. By the time you're starting that relationship, you know the consequences will follow, positive or negative. Number 2, you need to be disciplined. You're employed there and you're employed there to perform. So anything else is side show. Number 3, as the speaker said in the beginning, when you start this relationship, declare, but as you declare, be prepared with plan B. And this will be your survival plan. God bless you.
Thank you. Amen. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. And then we have Fiona. Fiona? Oh, okay. You can go, Opakwa.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's a good session. I actually appreciate the insights, Helen.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Mine is a clear statement that first of all, the motive. When you make a move, ask yourself what the motive is. If it's long range, then go for it. But if it's based on instant gratification, then it's gonna have a dent on everything. Thank you.
Very well said. Very well said, Abwati. Very well said.
Abwati has been very, very real on the chat. Eh? He said,
yeah, he's for real, man. He's for real. Thank you, brother.
Okay, thanks. Thank God I missed a dinner date. This session is timely. Please make up for it tomorrow.
Yes, make up. And now have your notes ready. Have your notes ready.
And somebody was saying teachers marry each other, policemen marry each other. Quite a number of people marry each other. How come some of us are never allowed to? And then probably we can take, yeah?
Okay, let me answer about the teachers. Oh, okay, someone's talking.
But where? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so
hi everyone.
Hi, Musama.
I'm actually listening with my wife.
Yes.
I'm a HR, and now in this conversation, she's asking what is my side. Am I for yes or for no?
Okay. Okay.
I'm here to answer.
What?
I don't really want to take sides because there are the pros and the cons.
Yes.
And as people in HR, we are not allowed at all to date in the workplace. Either you are dating vertically, people in the same department, wherever you cannot.
Okay.
So For the rest of the people, I think if it does not affect productivity, let them weigh the options.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And I wish you good luck with answering your wife. We don't want to be the advocates there because you were not there when you met. And think deep and hard before you answer her, because when it comes out of a lady's mouth, it's emotionally charged. So take your time and get it the correct answer out. If you need more time, ask for it.
Okay.
Yeah. I gave unsolicited advice there. I'm sorry. Oh my word.
Liz Nelima is saying, what if the company directors are the ones encouraging people to date? In my current company, ndio iko watu wawane. But it's okay. That's what we are saying. It is okay for people to fall in love. I think maybe you can clarify this, Helen.
Okay, the bottom line after all this talk, there is no law on the planet against colleagues, subordinates, seniors, superiors marrying. There is none whatsoever. There is no constitution in this planet that has been made against marriage or relationships or even in work or at work dating. However, companies, having carried out their researches and seen what comes from home and is brought to the workplace in a basket, and from the workplace to the home in a basket, and the backlash of divorces and cheating spouses and all that, they have opted to protect themselves from the sideshows that takes people away from the focus of the work. And that's why they have developed policies to protect their productivity, not to protect the workers, to protect their productivity. So all policies protect the organization. So when you know that and you're in love, know what you're up against. And if you're willing to take David and Goliath game, go ahead. Good luck.
Exactly. And somebody had said the media people and the marketing guys seem to have gotten it right in relationships. But I'm thinking they still fight, they still fight.
Fights are everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, as a relationships coach, show me a marriage without fights and disagreements, and I'll show you a fake one. In marriages and all relationships, you have to be real, and we are all made differently. And in being real brings in the monsters and the skeletons to the front, and sometimes the flowers. So there has to be both cloudy, good days, sunny days, very stormy days, and sometimes months. But the relationship is a work in progress. So once you know that, and you're willing to work on your workplace relationship and your marriage relationship on the same floor, fine. We see church encourage people to marry, even organizations for single dinners or ministries. That is good. That is very good.
Love is a beautiful thing. I don't know why people demonize love. Love is a beautiful thing. And
they don't demonize it. They don't demonize it. They're only scared that the productivity will go down. That's the only thing. The organizations don't go against. It's just that the productivity will go down. That's what they protect.
Right.
They're not against it. I don't think the director will come and say, you have sinned against the law and this, and you shall be fired or anything. No, it's just
some of them actually do that.
Well, they have to hold the policy in one hand, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I make a comment, please?
Yes, Fiona.
Yes, Fiona.
Okay. By the way, I think because we spend most of our awake hours with the people that we work with, relationships are invariably going to happen.
Yeah.
Now I'm speaking as HR. Yes, it's important to have your policies and your procedures regarding relationships. Your declarations of relationships, I think, is also very, very important. But the one thing I wanted to point out, at least in Kenya, we actually do have law that protects against unwanted relationships. So I've seen a few comments about what happens if the boss's wife wants me, or how do I say no and not lose my job? And there has been precedent set. It's actually covered under the Sexual Offences Act.
Yeah.
It is important to have a policy about sexual harassment.
Right.
Just because you want to have a relationship with someone, it should not affect it should not be mandatory that you become prey.
Yeah.
To the person who wants you. Yeah. And you need to have a safe space where you are able to raise that grievance, so that you are not harassed or intimidated into a relationship. Yeah. And so within Kenya, the law does cover you for that. That's the point that I wanted to. I know it's the flip side. I know today's a day of love and everything, but I just wanted to let people know that you do have the right to say no. Right. And not risk your job, because at the end of the day, like you said, it affects productivity in the organization. And working as an HR professional, I've had to manage sexual harassment cases that actually ended up in the harasser being terminated from employment. It was, yeah, I had to recommend my boss be fired because he was harassing young girls. It was so traumatic. Even as HR, I was so traumatized.
I hear you. That is trauma.
Yeah.
Sexual harassment cases are not easy. I've dealt with two, and they're quite draining. They're really draining. Yeah.
Thank you for letting me share that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for
I
that.
believe you're right. In this case, that is the flip side, and she's right. It's not just in Kenya, it's globally. Any unwanted pursuits are illegal. It doesn't matter who's doing them. Any unwanted pursuits that you're not entertaining, you are protected constitutionally and legally everywhere. We are only saying that if you don't want it, make it clear and follow the policy and the legal procedure for that. Thank you so much, Fiona, for that. That's wonderful.
All right, and I think we can hear finally from David Ondieki.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, David.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, as much as we say that it's not a policy that you should not date in the organization or in the same company.
Yeah.
We also try to look at the side effect of the same. As an HR, you may end up doing or having so many cases of sexual harassment when these two people dating at the same organization. The circle goes and will affect the productivity of these people.
Yeah.
For example, let's imagine like in Kenya today we have the Valentines and so on, and these people happen like they have conflict and all the same. The marriage has never been an easy going. There is always a fight in marriage. Then you find that the husband maybe is a manager and the wife is of a lower level. Then the lady comes in the job, the face looking the other way, that's what we say. They had a fight actually, you see.
Yeah.
And now here the HR, you had to come in. That's automatic that this is a case you are going to handle. The man is harassing the woman. You see, if these marriages happens in that organization, each time they fight, you have to come in. There is a sexual harassment, so you have to follow upon that. You see, so it will affect first. It will take a lot of time for that company, and also it will also reduce the productivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also another thing that we look at the relationship whereby maybe the top management, those people of high rank, are also chasing this of lower ranks. You see, now even signing the documents itself, it becomes a challenge. You cannot question why this. The resources will be wasted a lot because you are just there to sign, because you cannot question her. Let's say you are the man is the one who chasing them. Then these things are there is essential document, there is financial document that are coming to your table. You cannot question why this, because the moment you just ask, then it will be like you are excessive using your powers on her, which will not work at all.
Thank you,
think
David. Thank you,
it's
David.
better. Yeah.
David, thank you very much. In the interest of time, I think we've covered quite a lot about that. I think during Helen's presentation, she really packaged those different spaces and different scenarios, and she gave guidelines on how to handle it, especially upwards and downwards. She really covered quite a lot on that. If you came a bit late, you can also catch up on the recording, because she really gave us tips on how to handle those. And of course, thank you very much for your contribution. We appreciate that. And because in the interest of time, allow us to probably take 2 comments on the chat, and then we get Helen's closing remarks. But before we do that, allow me to recognize Mr. Herbert Zake. Herbert Zake is our partner in Uganda, Kampala. Thank you very much, and happy Valentine's to you, my good friend. Thank you very much for anyone who's tuned in, who is not in Kenya. Thank you very much for joining us. And of course, our fellow Kenyans, asanteni sana. But before I give my vote of thanks, I want to ask, there's a new interesting comment I had seen. Okay, I think this one is good. Mina is saying, in companies where there is no written policy that colleagues should not date, but it has been mentioned by word of mouth severally by management. If people are caught and they are fired on those grounds, will they have any legal redress against the company?
Wow. The bottom line is policy. If you go against the policy, good luck, you can't win. If the policy was clear from the word go that there was no workplace relationships encouraged, you cannot fight against that. They will give you options, though. They never say no and leave it that. One of you has to leave or get a transfer to another department. There's always an option. They don't just put a blockage and leave it. So if such a case they were fired and they violated policy, they may want to talk to a legal counsel about that. But I have a feeling it's going to be an uphill task.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys allow us to get the closing remarks. I don't know whether Irene, you can spot anything on our YouTube channel. And of course, Irene and Jacinta have shared on the chat our WhatsApp group. Please join our WhatsApp group, especially people who join us for the first time. Please join our WhatsApp group. The link is there. And then subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where we will upload the link, and you will be able to review this conversation with Helen. And of course, invite Helen to speak to your people. For those who are church leaders and are wondering how to deal with relationships, any topic on relationships, she is your best bet, including your own marital problems. You know, when you're having marital problems, she'll be able to help you and support you in that. If you're having issues with your girlfriend, again, not necessarily married, please reach out to Helen. If you're having a relationship of any kind, and she's an author, by the way. She has written a book called It Takes Two to Tango.
Tango, yes.
Yeah, and Helen, you'll tell us where to find that, please. Give us your closing remarks and tell us how to find your books.
Okay, my closing remark will be 2 sentences. If you're ready to work for it, go for it. If you're willing to risk it, take it, period.
If you're willing to risk it, take it.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're ready to work for it, go for it, because it's going to be a lot of work, a lot. Marriage is hard as it is. It's not easy. And workplace with its drama and everything is another very, very hard thing. So, but if you feel you're strong enough to work both together, go ahead. So it's not a yes or a no answer. Do they work or do they not work? It's up to you to decide if you're willing and ready to do it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, there's an interesting thing here before I let you go. I have a question.
Yeah.
A CEO brings a new employee without an interview and is dating the director, and she does not perform. What do you do? Please advise.
Okay, so the director brings in Agashungwa into the workplace. And the policies, what do the policies say? Oh, we have ombudsman, people. We have ombudsman in Kenya. And you can always write that to the ombudsman organization in Kenya that goes for those irregular hirings and policies. Every organization has a connection with an ombudsman. An ombudsman is a place where you can go, report your complaints and still remain anonymous, and the investigation will be done without your name being put to the front. So you can use the ombudsman method, or you can just question in a meeting of policies, where if you have the authority, you can go and question what the policy says without mentioning any names. Do not mention names. You just say, I'm just curiously interested to know this can happen in our organization. Is it something we should follow through or investigate? And let it come from their own mouth. Sometimes they'll fry themselves in their own fat, or they will feel guilty and stop doing what they are doing. So there are those two methods of approach.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. And the chat, some people on the chat are asking for your contacts. You can send to everyone.
Okay, it's hello@guruhellen.com. Simple. I'm putting it in.
Yes.
It's very easy.
Opakwa, you can follow Helen. She's wonderful, I tell you. We had her last year. I was telling the people in the group, we actually learned that they are workplace husbands. Check our YouTube channel for Valentine last year, the episode on Valentines. Yes, that was excellent. So, and if you want her to come and talk, and if you want her to come and talk, Helen, you're still sending to me directly.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm sending you everything directly. I'll send you everything directly like I did last time. So and for those who are interested in my book, you can get them on Amazon. But if you'd like an autographed copy, you can shoot me an email on hello@guruhellen.com. I can send you a personalized copy. So
okay. I meant on the chat, you were sending it to me, but I've put it again.
I will send you through the email too, so that you can put it in your YouTube everywhere else. Yeah.
Sure. No, people said they were dating here, grandson Musama. They admitted you have no idea. And Angela is asking how much are the books?
Okay, they depend on the currency. They're in US dollars. It's around 20 US dollars. How much is that in Kenya?
20 US dollars would be like what? Times 100, 120?
Times 100, I think. Yeah. However, if you really want to buy one, I can organize for you to get at a discounted price because I'm the author and we can plan something. Hey, see, we all are out to help each other out. Why not? I can order as a publisher and send at a discounted rate.
Okay.
I just need to know how many there are so that I can send them in bulk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obasi says it's 2,600. There we go. Thank you. Opako, I hope you'll be the first one to order. And you can get discounts, of course, like Helen has said.
Yep. So, shoot me an email and let's move from there.
Yeah, so thank you very much. And one of the books is called It Takes Two to Tango. You can read that, and there are others. So mapenzi ya workplace iko na wenyewe. Thank you very much. Yes, mapenzi ya workplace iko na wenyewe. You need to put in the work.
Well said.
You must get into it. And if you don't, you keep off. All the best on controlling your feelings, by the way. Just don't start it. If you just don't start it. If you start, getting out is very difficult.
I know.
Yeah, so all right, thank you very much. I need to go back to my dinner now.
Yes, please.
The whole conversation, but at least I will not miss the food. So thank you very much, guys, for being here, and especially on Saturday. Helen, I can't thank you enough. You're such a wonderful person, an excellent speaker. Yani God just took all the speakers and put them in you, pop. And then
thank you.
Really appreciate you. Thank you for always thank you for always saying yes to Atara Solutions.
Anytime. You know that. Anytime.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. So see you next Tuesday from 8 p.m. as well. We are here. We will be discussing the new NSSF rule. We are going to do it practically. We are going to make sure that you understand what is expected of you, especially for people who are working on their payroll. So thank you so much for always being here. See you next Tuesday, same time, same place, as we discuss the NSSF new rate. And for what? In case you have missed any of this part of this session, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Atara Solutions. Like our Facebook page. By the way, we are live on Facebook. You can actually rush there and watch a bit of it. Most of it is actually there as you wait for the YouTube channel. And any material that Helen sends to me, I'll make sure I send it to the email that we normally send towards the end of the week. So thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you. Bahati says hello because she's here as a live audience. And thank you so much. Love is forever, what is not. Thank you very much for that summary, Jay. Thank you. Yes, we are together on this thing. But asanteni sana, have yourselves a happy Valentine's. Good night, Catherine Sidandi. Asante sana. Oh my God, you know Catherine Sidandi is still single. We pray for you. Thank you so much. Paco, I hope you have not heard that. Yeah, so thank you.
Actually have.
Oh my God. All right, guys. So you guys have a lovely night, and we shall see you next week, same time, same place. And as always, I'm your host, Grace Nzula. Peace.
Peace out. Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's.